आप जो भेजे थे वो फॉरवर्ड कर सकते हैं?
उसने सर्च नहीं किया ना?
कट नहीं किया?
नहीं वो लैपटॉप पे है, मैं करूँगा अभी। जब शुरू कर सकते मैं
Just 6 seconds. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go. Biking. Yeah. That was straight to answer, but now that is hello. Is it audible? Right. Very good morning, participants. Today we'll have a session on reference management, and the next session will be in 208. We had a program yesterday. In the same row, we will have next session, and it is about plagiarism. Thank you.
Please cover, occupy the seats in front. If they are filled, let us go back. Here, so please come in front. Occupy the front chair.
सर कल जो आप भेजे थे वही लिखे ना
वही
वही या चेंज कर
ठीक
Sir, ये recorded है, जहाँ है उसको record रखो. We have to send all the recorded ones to
हाँ उसको थोड़ा एडिट करना है सर कट करना है करके मेरे पास है लैपटॉप पे मैं डाउनलोड किया
And before sending, we will see it once.
हाँ yes yes sure
Because we cannot directly send.
no you have to edit first to check and then upload. Yes sir.
Where will you use it? Original ones.
Connect the projector, sir.
What?
Any software is there, sir? Is it?
Sir, mine.
I have a PPT then followed by some. Okay, you don't have this.
Yeah. PPT can be copied here, sir. You can write.
I will.
The pen drive, sir. Because
What happened?
Okay, I will.
Connect the laptop.
you connect the laptop, you should light it going.
Stream. Acha. Can't it happen? We connect it like this and then connect to laptop there.
Projector भी
Acha.
projector भी
Streaming. Yeah.
ये पर भी कैमरा क्षमा कर सकते थोड़ा इधर लगा सकते हाँ सर वहाँ पे रहेंगे
It's manage. You have a slide. I am having one.
Remove one.
Here it is.
Research is what I'm doing when I don't know what I'm doing. I quoted by Warner Bond Structures like yes. Sanjita Research is doing what I'm doing when I don't know what I'm doing, as quoted by Warner Von Braun. A very good morning and a very warm welcome to the distinguished dignitaries, faculty members, and fellow students to the second day 3-day faculty development program on research methodology in collaboration with ICSSR SRC, organized by Department of Commerce, Bhavans Vivekananda College. The aim of this faculty development program is to enhance the research skills, methodological expertise among faculty members, research scholars, and academicians. The topic for 4th technical session is reference management and citation, overview of citation style, tools for reference management and best practices. The resource person for the session is Professor I. Lokanatha Reddy, Sir, University of Hyderabad. Now to officially begin the technical session 4, I would like to request Hardik to introduce an exceptional resource person for the day.
Thank you, Aditi. Thank you, Aditi. Professor Irala Lokanatha Reddy, sir, is working as a professor in School of Management Studies, University of Hyderabad. Sir is having more than 2 decades of experience in teaching, research, training, and education management. Sir did his BA from Sri Venkateswara University, Tirupati, MBA from SK University, Anantapur. He did his PhD on the topic Corporate Performance Measures in India from JNTU, Hyderabad. Sir was recognized as Financial Officer since 2019 at Hyderabad. He has also received Best Pedagogical Innovation Award from IIMA FDP Conference from the Union IIM Ahmedabad in 2023. He has published 39 articles, 20 case studies, 25 conference papers, 6 book chapters, and developed 2 full courses for MOOCs. Sir has designed and delivered 22 training sessions, organized and directed 16 sessions, and was invited to over 100 sessions, both at national level and international level.
I would now request Malika Sino ma'am to welcome our resource person with the podium.
Yeah, so I think we can manage without mic. Am I audible? But still you need it for YouTube. Huh? Is that okay?
Yes.
Anyway, we'll manage that. Yeah. So, right, actually today's topic wants to look at the citation management tool. When I have gone to the schedule of the topics that were there, I thought I will start with some basic questions. Then to the end of the session, we will touch upon the citation management. We all know that probably this is covered. You know the definition of research. This is from an English dictionary, which is basically encompassing the four important steps. First, we understand research is a systematic investigation, and you have sources, material, and then you try to establish facts, or you try to draw some new conclusions. So this is the textbook definition of research, the textbook definition of what goes through in that. But I wanted to start with a mood question. If you were to examine the relationship between age and experience, or age and salary, age as measured in number of years, and salary as measured in three categories: low, medium, high. I have given you four options. So which statistical technique do you think you will apply? So correlation, regression, chi-square, none of them. These are the four options that we got. I got one response as chi-square. Yeah, chi-square only. Second option is also chi-square. Second response is also chi-square. Any other answers? You can apply correlation. You can apply regression also.
Depending on what is that
Yeah, this is what you have to find out. You want to examine the relationship between age and
correlation.
correlation. Positive correlation is expected. So I want all of you to read the question once again and answer. So, you see only two things. One is age and salary. But there is some missing detail. There is something that we don't normally give much importance to. Yeah. I'm not saying you. I'm asking what is that you are saying. I'm not asking you to do any of those measures. But what is your answer? You also do chi-square, but you raised some relevant doubt that I am not good. So slowly you want to start seeing something you see about the question, right? So then what is the answer? Yeah. Very good. So what is the answer?
Association relationship
Whatever, association.
I think that going from
Okay. So, okay, you say relationship slash association. Okay, so, according to me, the answer is none of the above. So now that the answer is none of the above, let us see why we can't use correlation. Let's say why correlation doesn't fit this situation. Or why I-squared doesn't fit this situation. Sir, we have the answer for you. You are also having an answer. Madam is also having an answer, but try to build on that. Why correlation cannot be used, sir? Because you want to use both the variables should be measured as numbers. So what we're trying to actually miss in the process is we are so involved in it, we miss the measurement. So variables are important, but measurement is more important. So that is something that we throw light for a little while in this session at part A. And part B, of course, we will also look at some of the citation. Particularly, this has been my, that I wanted to bring a lot of awareness on the importance of measurement in research. So I started this position in 2000, and this question was asked in as many as I would say 40 sessions now across India. You can even show the results that I got. So same as what is happening in the class. Okay, so the only couple of times I get a none of the above answer is that person would have attended my class earlier. Except in that case, always it was kind of correlation or explain. See, the measurement age is measured as a numerical variable. Very particular, it is measured as a ratio scale. You understand there are 4 levels of measurement: nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio. So how many of you know about it? All of you know about it. So, but many of us ignore it. Most of the time, that's not part of our, or at least that's not part of a deliberate part of our the proposal. Okay. So, if not the 4 levels, nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio, at least we should be worried about the 2 levels. The nominal and ordinal can be categorized into categorical level of measurement, and interval and ratio can be classified as numerical level of measurement. Now, age is measured as a numerical variable and salary is measured as a categorical variable. That makes this unfit for using correlation or chi-square. Right? Once you cannot use correlation, regression is ruled out, because the regression is the correlation sibling, right? So whatever applies to correlation will also apply to regression. So if you want to apply correlation or regression, both the variables should have been measured on the numerical scale. And if you want to use chi-square, both the variables should have been measured on categorical scale. One is a category and the other is the numerical non-metric scale. Then both correlation and chi-square doesn't fit this examination. So this is what most of us do as a fundamental mistake. It's a minor mistake, but it has a very major impact on the validity of what we, write in our report and what conclusions we draw, etc. As a matter of fact, if you want to use correlation, it's not just that both the variables should have been measured as numbers, but they should have been measured as continuous numbers. That means there is a requirement of a continuous scale. Within numerical scale, there are two broad categories: continuous scale and discrete scale. What are continuous and discrete scales? What's the difference? What's the difference between a continuous scale and a discrete scale?
Continuous is in range, discrete is not. They are in fraction or decimal.
Yeah, discrete cannot be generally a fraction or decimal. Or to put slightly differently, a continuous variable is one which takes any number between two given numbers without restrictions. Whereas discrete, that means the continuous scale can take infinite numbers between two given numbers. Whereas a discrete scale can take only finite values between two given numbers. For example, I ask you, what is your age? That's a very open-ended question. Somebody says, I'm very young. Somebody says, I'm in young age. Somebody says, I'm still in active age. Somebody gives you a number, right? So, when you're asking a question like age, if I ask the question as an open-ended question, I get different kind of answers. But if I ask you, what is your age in completed years? What's your age in completed years? Then, for example, the lowest possible age in this hall is, let's say, some 20. The highest possible age is, let's say, some 65. So you can take only the numbers between 20 and 25 and 65. It can be 25, it can be 35, it can be 42, or it can be 26, or it can be 52. Only these numbers are possible. Then we say we are measuring the age in a discrete scale. First, I ask you, what is your age in completed seconds? That is number of years, then hours, then months, then days, hours. Then I get possibility that there is a very large set of values that are possible to be taken for this particular age. So from completed years to seconds, I am moving from a more discrete scale to a more continuous scale. So most statistical measures require data to be measured on a continuous scale, but we have compromised that long back. So nobody is insisting now that we should have measured it on a continuous scale. So at least the primary requirement is the numerical scale. Okay, this is what you do in research. So, right? Let's say these are my 9 steps in the research process. You start with a research topic, or we say a very broad area you will select. Then you go with the research questions. Then you try to specify the objectives of your research. Then you state these objectives in terms of hypothesis. Then you have the data requirements. Then you have a data analysis plan. Then collect the data, you analyze the data, write the data. So this is the 9 steps that I have mined. This is not there in any textbook. So what I call this 9 steps is operationalizing your research design. That means when you try to put a textbook research process into action, when you are doing a PhD or when you are writing a research paper, I think you need to follow these 9 steps. So, you can take it down. I will pass on these slides to you, no problem. I share these slides. Anywhere I go, the first thing that I will do is I will, after the lecture, I'll share my PPT, no hardware. I'm very, very confident nobody will go through it. You will not open it, I know that. So I will share my material freely. Okay. Now, what is the pertinent question we have in this here is, for example, you have 48 months for doing your PhD or doing your research. And let us say one step I am defining, data collection will take 6 months. Data collection will take 6 months. Somebody will 3 months, somebody will within a second data. You may download it in few days. So I want to specify the time for data collection. Let's say it takes 6 months. And total time that you have to complete your PhD is 48 months. So now the question that I am asking you is, when should you start collecting your data? In which month you will start? So when I say data collection, it doesn't involve your reading, going to articles, etc. Right? Data collection is like in our previous example, measuring age and experience. So each one of us has a research proposal. We have to collect some data, right? So the data collection is going to take 6 months, and the whole process has to be finished in 48 months. When is the right time to start collecting data? Yeah. So then I'm just asking you to divide your time 48 months before for the steps, 6 steps, 7 steps, 8 steps. One step I specified is 6 months.
After 1 year?
After 1 year, 12 months is one answer. Okay. Any other answers?
Can you guide us in this work?
One this time when there is no right answer, there is no wrong answer. I am only giving my perspective of what research is. You are free to agree to that. You are free to disagree with it. You can have your own timelines. I am not disputing that. I am only trying to present one perspective that I normally try to. So if there are no right answers, wrong answers, please tell freely. 24 months. After 24 months. Okay. 24 months, one answer, 12 months, 24 months. Any other answers? Yeah, then I also do one this way. I always try to prove you wrong. That is not easy. That's my character. That's something that character. Only for this today, 1 hour, right? Let them by friends. So it's just to bring a perspective, right? So I always think different. Okay, keep that in mind. Whatever answer you say, I will say that it's right, it's not wrong. Okay, 24 months. Right. Now I rephrase the question. Yes, I have some researches. In the submission, collection goes on. That's what I specified. Some time period for collection. Let us say nature of your problem, etc. The data collection time will be different. So now I have broken it as 6 months. Whatever is the problem, you can collect it. I am asking what is the time allocation. I just missed the question. 48 months is what you have to complete the whole process. Right? Now, how much time you need after data is collected and it is ready with you? How much time you should spend on your data analysis? That's the question actually I wanted to ask.
3 months.
8 months. So when you need 6 months only to analyze the data, why you collect the data in 12 months? Or why you should take 48 months to do it? So let us be very, very specific. How much time, let us forget about 48 months, 24 months. How many days, how many months you will complete your research, forget about it. After data is collected, how many months you should sit on the analysis of the data and how many months on report writing? And one immediate question that comes to me, what about publication? Forget about it. 12 months. Okay. Any other answers? 6 months for analyzing the data, 3 months for editing. Okay.
3 months for analysis, 3 months for writing.
Yeah, 6 plus 3, 6 plus 6,
3 plus 2.
3 plus
3.
6 plus 3.
Writing the report more time.
Writing the report more time. My answer is very radical. The data analysis should take 2 hours. Data analysis.
Interpretation will take long time.
No, I'm not joking. Data analysis should take 2 hours. I'm not even saying 2 days. And report, of course, 2 days or 3 days. How many of us with me? Sanjay Rosar is not with me. Right? Madam Kamala Madam is also not with me. Nobody is with me.
Data analysis, when we are choosing any statistical tool, assume we agree with that, but
No. Let this come again. You are using any statistical tool.
after analysis, understand and to write the thing, it will take enough time. Interpretation,
How much is enough?
enough is almost 1.5
Month.
refining.
Madam has come down now. It's also 1.5 months. Exaggeration, but I mean what I say. Most of us run into this problem of thinking about what to do with the data after it is collected. Most of us will run into this problem because I am also the partner, I have few, I would say old friends, old friends, officers who are age group of 60, 70, unfortunately they call me, here we have a problem here, I have my student who has collected the data, please come and help them analyze this. I get this kind of phone calls. It's a very peculiar situation, right? So, the whole operationalization have issues here. That's where I always take this topic wherever I go. This happens if you are not having this. If you have a data analysis, I will tell you what it is. I tell you what the data analysis is. That's what I said. This is not there in any textbook. This step is not there. The 5 and 6 steps are not there in any textbook. From step 4, we'll automatically jump to step 7 in our textbooks. These 2 are my favorite steps. And I'll tell you what is data analysis. Then you'll understand why I said verbs. Why I said verbs. I will 2 hours is just to provoke you, let's say 2 days. So I still stand with my proposition that the data analysis should not take more than 2 days. If you have a data analysis plan, and I'll show you what is the kind of plan that you should have, right? Then report writing, also I will show some old files where you can kind of actually complete it in 2-3 days. Right? So these are the 2 steps that we concentrate today. As part of this report writing, our citation issue and all those things will come into picture. Why we need citation managers will also come into picture. Okay. So when we say this is how I distribute this as plan versus execution. What is the 6 steps is what I call part of the plan. Next, 3 steps is part of the execution. So yeah. So this is how I distribute. The plan is for 40 months, then the execution is for 8 months. And I popularly show this report. Some people say it's a Japanese code, some people like to put it to American, whatever. The model of this only is very simple. If you are given 8 hours to cut a tree, if you are given 8 hours to cut a tree, so it is wise that you spend 6 hours sharp on every saw. Why? It's wise to allocate 6 hours for sharpening the saw. So if your axe or if your saw is sharp enough, you can cut the tree in 2 hours. At the moment you are given that axe to start cutting the tree, it may never be cut if it is not sharp. So the point that we are trying to do is, if your plan is pakka, if you have all this in place, then this gets done within no time. Most of us will not get the plan ready before we start executing. So how this actually translates into our action, we will just see it. You just click on that video in this. Sound there. This is speech by Rahul Dravid, where he was referring to a very rare plant called Chinese bamboo. So all know bamboo, right? There is something called Chinese bamboo. Okay, doesn't matter. Just have a look at it. There is no sound, but we'll go back to the text. Okay, you just read this text. So the Chinese bamboo is a typical plant. You have it planted, and then for the first 4 years, so actually we think everything is in our control. People complain. Okay. So now once you plant it, for the first 4 years, you don't even see the sprout coming out. But 4 years you have to feed it. 4 years if you do all that, you do it with a normal plant. 4 years you have to water the plant. 4 years you give it fertilizer, etc. But you don't even see the sprout coming out of the surface. But what happens? In the 5th year, the tree grows up to 30 meters height in 6 weeks. Isn't it something surprising? 4 years you actually feed it, 4 years you nurture it, 4 years you take care of it, it will not grow even 1 inch. In the 5th year, within 6 weeks, it will grow 30 meters. So when did the tree grow? We see only that 6 weeks. But what is it is doing all 4 years? It is preparing itself for this launch, preparing itself for this growth. It's spreading its roots, it's gathering enough strength, right? So spreading its roots, it's gathering all the strength, it's preparing itself for this growth. But the visible growth is only 6 weeks. So somebody would say the tree has grown into 30 meters in 6 weeks, but I would say that the tree has grown into 30 meters in 5 years. Not in. So this is some details like how do you here you go to a data analysis plan. I take you to one small example. There are many examples. Let us say you start with your big topic or big area. So where do you get actually research ideas? So what is that kind of research? The research ideas are everywhere in our daily life. And most of the research ideas come from the big debates in TVs, the breaking news, right? Your own observations and readings. This is something very, very important. Now, most of us try to do research without actually reading research. Right? Some of the points we'll get from our students' projects. Then when you go to conferences, seminars, webinars, you get ideas. And your friends in the industry, they will tell you certain ideas. So the idea can come from anywhere. Let's say this is something that has appeared in the popular press, let's say on these days. So the teachers and parents find online teaching inadequate and ineffective. There was a study. Online teaching is ineffective and inadequate. Similarly, the Indian population crosses changes. Now, is it an opportunity or is it a concern? Right? So, any of such breaking users, small users, can become your research topics. Let's say we'll go with this online teaching. Now, I want to have some research done on work from home or on online teaching. What kind of narrow down can happen? So, work from home and work productivity, work from home and health, work from home and interpersonal relations, work from home and teamwork. See what I am trying to do, I am flagging all these ideas with work from home. Right? Then regarding online teaching, we can have such questions as quantity and quality delivered. And what is the delivery quality? What about student engagement in online teaching? What about online evaluation versus physical evaluation? So this is how we can branch out into the topic. Taking work from home, you can come out with these 4 topics. Taking online teaching, you can come out with these 4 topics. Let's say we go to research questions. If you talk about work from home and productivity, you can ask this question. Does work from home affect work productivity? The work from home is not a new concept, but post-COVID it has become a very prevalent way of working. People used to work from home previously also, but working from home completely started only during COVID. If you are, let's say, having 30 days, generally people used to take work from home 1 day, 2 days, they were not meeting their colleagues for 2-3 days. But this whole working from home for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months started only with COVID. So is it having any, impact on productivity? Or the productivity is as usual when people are working from office? Then work from home reduces physical health. Work from home increases mental stress. Work from home affects one's memory. Work from home constrains interpersonal relations. What is it we're trying to do? You look at this journey. This is an idea that I have just flashed when I have seen one newspaper. From that newspaper, I have got these 4 topics. And in each topic, I can raise these questions. Similarly, does work from home hinder does teamwork? How does work from home affect the team coordination? What is the difference between these two questions? Or what is the difference between these two questions? This question is more pointed compared to just calling it mental stress. Does work from home increases mental stress? It's still a more general question compared to does work from home affect your memory? It's a more specific. Similarly, instead of saying does work from home hinders teamwork, if I'm asking does work from home affect the team coordination, that means within the teamwork I am going to find out a particular aspect of teamwork. Not is coordination getting affected because of work from home? How does coordination compare with work from office? Similarly, if you take online teaching, I can ask these questions. Does quantity of content delivered differ in online teaching? What factors affect the quantity of content delivered in online teaching? What are different ways in which content can be delivered online? You see, these three questions are three different questions. Though all of them belong to what is called quantity delivered. Though all of them are related to quantity delivered, each question is completely different. So now, the point that we are trying to make is, coming to student engagement, can students be as effectively or more effectively engaged in online teaching? What factors affect student engagement in online teaching? What are different ways of engaging students online? The point that I am asking you is, when you are doing your proposal, for the PhD or for your research work, or you want to write a paper, are we doing this elaborate exercise or not? Generally, we are not doing. We are not thinking of all possible questions related to that. I just mentioned some of them. We are not doing all possible questions related to a particular topic. The moment we look at work from home, we'll pick up one topic called student engagement, then we'll start doing. We'll go to the next step. Now you understand why I said you need to spend 40 months on this. If you are doing this kind of detailing of each step, we are still in the second step only. If you are going to detail it in these steps, then it will definitely take those 40 months. Okay. Now, from this, let us say we pick up some objectives. We have still not picked up our objectives. We have only stated our research questions. As we are moving from our topic to the question to the objective to the hypothesis, what is happening? We are moving from a very broad topic to a more narrow topic. We are moving from stating things in a very subjective manner to it's becoming from more general to more specific, and this is my the flagship thought. It should become from more noticeable to more measurable. It should become from more noticeable to more measurable. That means as I go to my hypothesis stage, I should be able to measure what I am speaking. This you should do consciously. Loosely said, many hypotheses. Right? Money motivates work. Money motivates work. This is the question that I want to examine. What do I mean by money here? Salary term. Then festivities, incentives. An immediate question is, will I get this information accurately? These are measurement issues. This is very good. But what about what? What do you mean by what? That's a bigger question. How do you define work? How do you measure work? So, if you want to go to this exact phrase, you should be concerned about the measurement. Somehow we loosely define concepts and then we do not bother much about the measurement that slants us into problems. Okay. You see here, let us continue with our online teaching example. See, in the process, I am grabbing some examples, particularly focus on. Let's say, does quantity of content delivered differ in online teaching? This can be your objectives. To study the dynamics of quantity content delivered, to study the factors affecting the quantity of content delivered, to study different ways in which content can be delivered. Look at the first two questions. Do you see a difference in the first two questions, or they are one and the same? Dynamics of quantity of content versus factors affecting, they are two different things. Right? What factors affect the amount of quantity delivered is a more general question compared to asking the question, what are the dynamics? When I say dynamics, there is an interplay of several factors that we should take into account. Whereas when I say what are the factors that affect quantity delivered, we can go slightly backward. So this one board, the dynamics versus the factors, will change the whole story of what we should research on, what kind of measurement we should undertake. So when you look at the dynamics of quantity delivered, that's a fit case for an experimental research. So today, if you want to publish in a high quality journal, it gets easy if you do an experimentation. So for example, you want to see the customer mistreatment in hotels. One of our professors got and read this research in XLRI, PhD topic. See, our PhD topic was how customers, we say customer is the king, and all hotels cite it on their policies, etc. Wherever you go to the airlines, the customer is to be treated as king, etc. But of course, Indigo Airlines is redefining the whole thing. Right? They are showing the customers what is their place. Huh? So that's a different thing. But on theory, the customer is the king. When you go to the hotel, and have you ever bothered how the customers are treating the servants there, waiters there, managers there? Right? You don't get a glass of water properly served, we shout at the pitch of our voice and we say, call your manager, etc. Right? But how this will impact their productivity? It's a very, very interesting. So what you can do to survey this topic or to do this research? Generally, what is that we will do? No, that's what. See how customers treat the waiters in the hotel. That is the research problem. Generally, what we do, we'll immediately do some literature, then we'll prepare questionnaire, we'll go and ask the waiters. Observation method. No, that's what we do. But if you do the same thing as an experiment, you create a simulated environment wherein properly educated waiters are there, the customers are there. Then you simulate this whole. I want to remind you of one particular movie scene about how the whole experimentation works. You have seen this movie Arya by Allu Arjun.
Yes, sir.
And there was one heroine. So throughout the movie, the heroine will be shouting at the hero several times. He is proposing, she shouts, whatever he does, she will be shouting. And at the end, he plays a small trick. He will say, for just 10 minutes, you be me, I will be you. And he starts shouting at her. Then she realizes what she was doing all this. This is the power of experimentation. This you won't get the questions. Right? So, if you are having a small word called dynamics versus simply factors affecting, the whole scenario of how you do the research will change. If you are going into such details in your research, then your chances of this getting published in a high quality journal or this research becoming a changing factor for you will be different. Then how do you make it very more specific? Instead of asking what are the factors that affect the quantity of content delivered, I say to study the impact of X, Y, Z factors. That means you identify those factors and study them. Instead of making it open-ended, what are the factors affecting? So to do this, what we will do? If your question is, what are the factors affecting quantity of content delivered? What are the general statistical techniques that you will use? You will do as item-based questionnaire. Then what you will do? You will do a factor analysis. You will do a factor analysis to identify those factors. So from this, if you change it to study the impact of X, Y, Z factors, then from your exploratory factor analysis, the whole thing jumps into confirmatory factor analysis. And this leads to a structural equation modeling or a regression problem. But here, it is a simple exploration problem. You see, you don't see much difference in these two objectives. In one objective, I am saying what are the factors affecting, but in another objective, I am saying how these factors affect. Just this play of words in your objectives can completely change the method that you have to use for that, and the data that you have to collect for that. Right? So my only thing is, if you do it in little more detail, little more careful, all these things will open up. Right? Okay. Now, of course, here also you can have, does the I'll be sharing all these things. You can go through it. Now, you see, when it comes to the hypothesis from research objectives, it becomes more specific. So, the same to study the impact of XYZ factors on the quantity of content delivered. When it becomes a hypothesis, what becomes? The XYZ factors have no impact on the quantity of content delivered. This can have a little more specific. X do not have a significant impact. Y do not have a significant impact, Z do not have a significant impact. Instead of saying X, Y, Z do not have a significant impact. So from little more specific to further more specific. Now let us say these are your hypotheses. Then the next thing that we should do is, what are the variables? We are coming back to our age and salary now. Once you have your hypothesis, then you have to come out with what are the variables that are required to be measured to test this hypothesis. Let us say in this hypothesis, one of the hypotheses is mother's education and the student engagement in online teaching are related. Mother's education impacts the student engagement in online teaching. You please go through these two hypotheses very specifically. This is a directional hypothesis. This is a non-directional hypothesis. Here I am only saying that mother's education and the engagement of the student in online teaching are related. Here, my objective is only to see whether there is a relationship. But in the second hypothesis, I am restating the mother's education impacts, that means leads to the student engagement in online teaching. This is a different hypothesis. Asking whether two things are related is different from asking whether X leads to Y, whether X impacts Y, whether X affects Y. Is it clear? Right. Whatever it is, now to test this hypothesis, you need to measure the level of student engagement in offline teaching. You need to measure the level of engagement in online teaching. Then you need to measure what is mother's education. Let's say I need these three variables to test this hypothesis. Here, I am giving you different options for measurement. Level of student engagement, I can simply say they are classified into two categories: engaged and not engaged. We'll go to that in the next step. Here we are only trying to see how many different ways you can measure one thing. So my variable of measurement is students are engaged or not. In the most simplest way, I can give the job to the teacher. I can give the list of 60 students. These students are engaged. These students are not engaged. I am not specifying any criteria for him. He can assume his own criteria. He will only classify them into engaged and not engaged. Or you can give the teacher engaged, moderately engaged, not engaged. Or students can be given a scale inventory and a 5-point scale, and they will fill that inventory, and then you will finally come out what is the engagement score of the student. What is the engagement score of the student on a scale of 1 to 5? That's how much engaged he is. Now go to mother's education. I can simply classify mothers as literate or illiterate from some census data of the locality. Or I can have a scheme. If some mother has passed 10th or more, then I can say she is educated. If she is having education below X, I will say she is not educated. Right? This can be taken from student application or questionnaire, whatever. Or I can give a number of years of education of the mother. If somebody is 10th class, she will get 10 points. If somebody has passed 11th class, she will get 11 years. If somebody is an intermediate class, she will have 12 years. If somebody is a graduate, 15 years. Somebody is a postgraduate, 17 years. Now, given a chance, how do you want to measure? So, given a chance, how do you want to measure? You want to go more numerical. So that is the point that we keep in mind. So unless we do a numerical level of measurement, most of the statistical techniques are closed for us. For your data, if you cannot calculate average, you can't do anything. For your data, if you are not able to calculate average, 90% of statistical techniques are closed. So every time you are doing a measurement, the first question you should ask is, can I calculate average for this or not? But here is a problem, especially with the softwares. In questionnaires, when we collect data, we normally code them. So let's say in our questionnaire there are two questions. The gender, right? So you have given them one male, two female, and you have given it to a research scholar. He or she will feed it. You have 500 questions, 500 questionnaires. So the 500 questions, one female, one is male, two is female. You put this into spaces and you run an average. For gender also it will give you an average 1.83. What is this? Because machine does not know. Machine does not know that it should not do average for this variable. It will only, because it is a number. There are so many ones, there are so many twos. If you will add all ones and all twos, then divide it with 500 and you will get some average, but it is absurd. So, if you have issues in measurement, with the software, most of those things go unnoticed. That's another problem here. So, see, in the interest of the time, we have to skip this. You should not land into the question marks. If you have done this, what is your dependent variable? What is your level of measurement? What is your independent variable? What is the level of measurement? The analysis plan will be ready. If you don't do this exercise properly, then you will end up with question marks. So this is where we say that you should have a data analysis plan ready with you before you actually start collecting data. So there is a very detailed presentation of this, but I'll stop this with one question. We'll get into little bit of citation related business. Now, if you are specifically seeing where is the literature review, that step I have not mentioned in this main class. Which is it 1A, 1B, 2A, 6A, 9A, 7A? I mean, where do you include it? Between 3 and 4, between 5 and 6, between 1 and 2? 1 and 2. Okay. Right? So, somewhere you can include, but my answer is so the problem is even the JNTU Hyderabad, they have a format for the PhD submission in which they mention chapter 2 as literature review. So literature review is not one chapter. You are referring to literature when you are searching for the topic. If you are referring to literature when you are identifying the questions. You are referring to literature when you are talking about your objectives. If you are referring to literature when you are talking about your results. When I say my results are this, I found a strong negative correlation between money and motivation. Surprising. Money and motivation has a negative correlation. What I am saying, if you pay more, people will work less. This is very strange. What should you do? This is that means the results of your research are contradicting existing theory. Is it a good thing or a bad thing? First thing is you need to check whether there is some problem in your methodology. Somewhere instead of putting plus, you have put minus, so this result can come. Otherwise, if your methodology is foolproof, this is time to celebrate. This paper will get the highest citations because you are contradicting some established fact in the research, established fact in the society, established fact in the personal life. Suddenly people started more money, less work, less money, more work. This is very interesting. So, when you get a contradicting result, but what we will always try to see, even before we do the research, we are biased towards the result. You should not own your result in your research. So the result is based on the data. It's not based on your process. It's not based on your likes. It's not based on your dislikes. It may very well be contradicting the existing things. But if you are confident about your research process, you can go ahead and publish it. Right? Okay. Now, I think we have some time left. The point that I am trying to make is every step you need to revisit again and again and again and again. That means at your data requirement stage, you may have to go back and change your hypothesis. You may have to go back and specify objectives. Then you may have to go back and identify research questions. Every time, why do you go back is based on your literature. Remember, when you are going back, you go several steps. But when you are coming down, you have to go step by step. This is the reason why you need lot of time here. And there is only one thing that you cannot do second time. That is data collection. See, I can state one article today, tomorrow I can change. I can have one hypothesis today, tomorrow I can have different hypothesis. I can completely change my research topic and research question also. These 6 steps you can make any number of times, any number of changes. But once you have collected the data, can I say throw out this data, collect it again? No. Because that is the step which you cannot repeat. You should not take up that step unless every other thing is frozen. Am I making sense? That is the reason why before you go for data collection, you should have all these steps completely ready. Only then you will collect data. If you do this, probably you are doing this. Probably the execution will take not more than 20%, not more than 15% of the whole time that you are spending on your research journey. So this is where we'll stop, but I think I'll sit there when I show you the. So this system has a Word installed,
What is
Microsoft
it?
Word,
Yes.
etc.
It is there.
Okay. Now what? This is WordPress or Home? Word, Microsoft Word.
Right click and open with the button. Right. Right, what is the open?
Nice, open with option.
Open with नहीं आ रहा है. One minute. What do you want to open?
Open this files in Microsoft Word. Yeah, there are certain features that are there in the Word.
So opening WPS.
Yes.
Sir, if you download this.
It's already downloaded. It is there in our downloads.
Download. Okay.
Go to downloads, downloads only you should do that.
I try to open it in Office. Teams Office. I have a join Office. Yeah, see, here I have a model report. Participants, please
Come back. Yeah.
See, we have been discussing about how many days you will take to write your report, etc. So one of the major problems that we have in our report writing is referring to the work. That means you have had
The feedback, Malika, read it. Stop it.
yeah, you have had some 100, 200, 250 works that you have referred in your work. That means the literature review, right? So these are actually cited at different places in your report. So they are there when you start your introduction. Like I said, you don't have a topic, a chapter called literature review. So you are citing works in your introduction, you are citing works in your methodology, you are citing works in your analysis, you are citing works in your findings, conclusions, everywhere you are citing somebody else's work. So for example, when you are framing your hypothesis, you have to cite other works. What are the kinds of hypotheses that have been already studied, and what hypothesis you thought of studying, and finally what hypothesis you have selected for your study. So there also you are citing. So everywhere you are citing somebody else's work, and the literature review is not the one chapter where you cite. Maybe in literature review you try to give a summary of different works that you have actually gone through as part of your PhD process. And once you have done that, the citation management becomes an issue. In this report, how many things I have cited, and finally, I should have a bibliography. Yes or no? So how do you create this bibliography? How do you create these references? Manually or automatically? So what are the things that you use? How does this come automatically?
What is the submission?
Yeah, madam.
Board has an option.
The Word has an option. Microsoft Word has an option. Let us say whatever the works that I have cited in this, in this paper. But timing, let's say they are not there. Because this is not working here properly. So what I will do, now I can go to the problem is this system is not equipped with the Word. This is an online version that I have opened. Word is.
In download situation. Where's your application?
This is my folder, MS Word. You have no folder. You can take it as just a environment.
1 minute.
Okay, chip one chip.
Now open it, open it.
What?
Bird.
So,
Always, yeah. Close this, close this.
Other-
There.
right, so this is the model report in which I have few works cited. Finally, I want to have a list of all these works that I have cited. So now, have you seen this? In one single step, I have listed down all the works that are cited in this document. How many of you use this? One. So now, but this will not come automatically like this in every document. For this to come like this, you should actually start adding all these works into your library. You should start adding all these works into library. So where is your library? So where is the library? Manage sources. This is my library. So whatever the works that I have used in my research, I just added some of them. They are all added here. How to add a new work? Here. You can add a new work, either a book or a book section or a journal article or an article in a periodical or a conference proceeding or a report. So depending on what you are selecting, the requirements of what you need to add will be different.
So where did we get the create source?
First you go to references. In references, manage sources. So in manage sources, then you can add new. I have added all of them here. What you see here is added. So now you can add something new. So when you are adding a journal article, let's say add Airola, and you can in fact add more details about the author. What is the author's first name? What is the author's last name?
We have to type all those.
One time. For one work, one time. If you are referring to, let's say, 100 works in your paper or your thesis, these 100 articles have to be entered into this. Details of all the articles. Okay. So one time you have to do this. you have multiple authors, you can add other authors also. Okay. Now there are two authors for this article. So are you retirement ready? Let's say this is in 2024. The pages from 99 to 106. Click OK. Now, all those things that are entered in a master file can be stored here. See, for example, maybe you are doing a research on different topics. Some of them you are not quoting in this particular paper. So all of them you can take back into your this side. Right? This one you want to take it this side. Okay? Okay. Right? Now once you have had your detailed list, if you are quoting here according to, then here you can insert the citation. When you insert the citation, it will show you all the sources that you have entered in your database. So instead of saying according to Airala and Pankuri, I'll go and select this. Then it automatically says Airala and Pankuri 2024. Right? So the advantage of that is that the word automatically reads that you are citing this work. And the moment you insert your bibliography, this gets inserted in the last column. Let us say you don't want, after a later date, if you are, let us say, doing a multiple papers, some of this content you are copying and pasting it in some other paper, and in that paper you are not going to list some of the papers. That you can manage from your sources. Whatever is in the current list here, they will come and display as bibliography in your current Word file. But here you can have a master list. You can have 200 papers. If you are doing a research in a particular field, you can have 200. You can go on adding to that master list. In every paper, you will not add all the 200 references. So whatever the references that you are adding, in that document, you can take them to your current list. Your master list always stays with that. Then, when you are inserting bibliography also, you can insert it according to different you select the bibliography. Here you can go to a particular style. You want American psychology APA style, popularly known as, or you have a Chicago style, or you have an MLA style, right? So depending on what style the publisher is asking you, you need not rewrite your entire bibliography. You can simply say change it to Chicago style. Now this is changed to Chicago style. So if it is in APA style, what happens? Immediately after the author, year comes. In Chicago style, the year goes to the last. So you want to APA style, take it, change it to APA style. Now it has come back to A state, right? So now the word has come up with some options where you can actually connect this with your other citation managers like EndNote or Jotero or the other things. Some of them are compatible with the word, but I don't recommend that because that is unnecessary duplication of the work. So if you are doing some work online, you can use a Jotero account or some other account because those citation managers have certain facilities of directly, downloading data from or author's details from the Scopus etc. databases. But for that you need actual subscription to Scopus and other databases. So that happens only in premier institutions where you have all subscriptions where it gets automatically done. But for our kind of institutions where we work on a particular field, work with some 200, 250 papers over 5-7 years, the word is the best option.
Some advanced version, then word is taking so much.
No,
Manually, lots
madam,
of
that's what
work.
I'm saying. If you want to use Jotero or OneNote or EndNote etc., they are all now subscribed versions. You have to pay a lot of money, and they will work only when you have proper subscription to the databases. For example, I don't have a subscription to Scopus database. Then it's impossible to use the Jotero or the other citation tools. So only when you have paid a lot of money to them, they will work. So what I am telling you is, pardon? Mentally is a different thing. Mentally is a different thing. That is fine. But back end you should have subscription only. Even for mentally, you should have a Scopus subscription. Otherwise, it is as good as Word. Why I am recommending Word is not only bibliography. I will show you certain other features in Word. The certain other features is I am doing this. How do you create the contents page? See, which chapter is in which page? You do a list, table of contents, no? How do you do that? You do manually, right? See, I have, yeah, I have immediately taken the contents in 1 minute. List of contents, index page.
For this, we have to give instructions that we are taking some.
Yes. You have to use this, you should use this format. All your headings, subheadings, this has to be defined. Now the advantage of this is, I can actually look at my entire document map. So my document has how many chapters? It has 6 chapters. And in the 4th chapter, these are the subheadings. And under each subheading, these are the junior subheadings. For example, now I am actually taking this analysis 1. See, the moment you click on this, you will go to that page. The moment you click on a particular thing, you will go to that page. Now, for some reason, this analysis 1, I want to take it into some other chapter. So, this whole thing here, so see here 5.6, 5.6.1 subheading. Here I am referring to a table 5.1. Where is the table? The table is somewhere at the top. I'm referring to table 5.1. Then this table is 5.9. Now I'll take this whole thing, cut. The entire 5.6 is cut. And I am placing it in another chapter after 4.8. What happened? It automatically changed it to 4.9. This table number should be what? It should change, no? It's not in 5th chapter now. You take Control A, press F9. This table is now changed to 4.7. This table is changed to 4.7. But of course, I am still referring to table 5.1 in chapter 5. This is not changed. This table is changed to 4.7. Wherever I was referring to 4.7, whose earlier number was 5.9, now gets changed to 4.7. See, I am referring to table 5.1 here. Now actually see what is there in table 5.1. So for this I should go on searching where are my tables. So instead what I will do, I'll go to my here, I will insert I can insert a list of tables. Just a second. I'm sorry about this confusion. Anyway, so these are some of the issues with the software versions. You remember this option? Using this option, you can actually insert list of tables. You can insert list of figures. All that you have in your document, they can be inserted here, right? And they will also automatically change. If you are picking up a particular table from chapter 5 and putting it in chapter 4, and whose number is changing from 5.9 to 4.7, in your list of tables and list of figures also it will automatically change. So I would have demonstrated this how I connected my laptop, okay? Due to the WPS, and this is a slightly older version, this is Word 2007. I am using Word 2023. Okay, because of that it is not working, but doesn't matter. Here you can have list of tables, list of figures, everything. Now once I have changed this, which I have pasted here, which used to be 5.6 has become 4.9. In your table of contents also this will change. This subheading you got it here, right? So now where is your table of contents? So now here in 4, here see, this should have been, this was not there. The 4.9 analysis 5, the 4.9.1 ANOVA test, these two were part of chapter 5. Now I have changed it in the main text. In the table of contents also they got automatically changed. So these advantages are not there with other citation managers. That's why I recommend Microsoft Word, which has all the three features. You have citation manager, you have table manager, and you have figures manager. You can change any figure from any chapter to any other chapter. You can change any subheading from any chapter to any other chapter. Everything will be automatically updated. You need not waste time, days together doing all this manually. Okay, so this is how you can actually use Microsoft Word. This is not a big deal. It is just by practice. But to actually use these things, you should know how to use your heading styles and all. And when you are inserting a figure, let us say, or a table, you should not insert that table or figure manually. What you should do, let us say in literature review, I am inserting a figure. Now what you should do, you should go to references. I will show you an alternative way. See, for example, then you do this, you can take a properly inserted, let's say, table 3.1, you can copy this and go to chapter 2. Let us say you are going to have a table here. So here you can simply paste it from there. See, I have taken this from there, just Control A and F9. This you need not do every time. Once in a while you do. This table is changed to now table 2.1. Are you understanding? So it gets automatically very easy for you if you start using all these options that are very much available in the world. You need not go to any paid software, but only thing is use the latest version, you will have all the features available. Right? Maybe Microsoft 365 will do. Okay. I think we'll stop here. We are crossing our time, 11:40. So I'm leaving these files here. Then I will also send this PPT to Madam. Madam will distribute it to you.
Save it on desktop.
Because I'll send a PDF version.
Acha, oh.
Okay, thank you all for your patient listening. You've been quite nice audience. Yeah, just no, I completely.
want this? Switch on.
Thank you so much, sir, for the detailed explanation on reference management and citation and even report writing. It was a very interesting and a hands-on session. I would now request Ms. Vinaya Chaturvedi ma'am to present the thank you letter and extend a heartfelt gratitude.
Good morning to the audience gathering. Before I start proposing my vote of thanks, let me first welcome our Professor Thakur sir for the next session. For the next session, is it okay now? You first let me know. No, just go. So, it gives me a very heartfelt immense pleasure to propose vote of thanks for the fourth technical and very much enriching session. Your presentations were highly informative, knowledgeable. The example of the bamboo tree growth, which you have mentioned during the presentation, made us understand importance of focused planning and then executing our actions. Choice of statistical test, framing the research questions, you made us learn the entire research process in a great detail. Your presentations were very much informative. We extend our heartfelt thanks for accepting our invitation and for being with us. Sincere thanks to our principals of JSVRK Chaudhary sir and our HOD ma'am LD Kamladevi ma'am for helping us and supporting us for the entire FDP program. I also thank Jared sir for the technical support continuously which he is extending, and I also take the opportunity to thank and assist us for all the organization of the work, the students in charges, Aditi Sarthak from MCOM second year, the delegates and the participants who have been attending and actively participating in this session. I thank you all. I also thank our non-teaching staff who has been continuously working with us and assisting us for the successful conduct of the program. Thank you one and all.
Now I request Ms. Malika ma'am to present the thank you letter.
you